welcome back to my channel, ladies. Today it's going to be a little bit more controversial subject, I would say. First I just want to say, because I noticed that there's more new people, my name is Carolina and I created this channel after becoming a mom because I felt like, this is a time in my life now that I'm ready to, and like level up myself and grow as a woman, as a lady as well. And yeah, if you are new here, then very warm welcome and I hope you're going to stay with us. Today we're going to talk about tattoos, ladies. So I noticed that there's so many different opinions. I noticed that there's so many strong opinions about this subject, if tattoo is elegant at all, if tattoo is classic. And I'm going to obviously talk today about my personal opinion, so you don't need to agree with it. I personally think, and I'm not going to cover this up or anything, I personally think that tattoo is not so classic. I have friends, really good friends, that have tattoos all over their bodies and I don't have a problem with that. I feel like we all are independent people and we all find things beautiful. Some people find tattoo very beautiful, some people don't. Personally, I honestly don't mind people having tattoo until the tattoo is not on their face that's going to affect their life in some way. So I think the area of here, even with the neck, I don't think people, like any man or woman, they shouldn't really cover this part of the area of the skin in tattoos. That's just my, again, personal opinion. I think classic, if we want to talk about classic, elegant, tattoo is not elegant at all. If you want to talk about maybe some kind of elegant style that is more like a rock and roll but still elegant, have some kind of edge, and you have some kind of tattoo, then you're going to get away with it. You can look at the Angelina Jolie. She has tattoos all over her body. She's wearing so many dresses on the galas. You can see all her tattoos everywhere. I feel like even it's maybe too much for me personally, but she's okay. She's done these tattoos because they mean something for her and she's happy with them. I can live with that. I'm happy for her. I wouldn't personally do so many tattoos on my body, but again, this is just, you need to think about yourself, what makes you happy. I wanted to do this video not necessarily to say, oh, tattoos are wrong or tattoos are really great, because everybody is different. We all have a different opinion. I've done tattoo when I was 17. I have a tattoo on my body, and when I'm 30 now, if I could go back in time, I wouldn't do it. That's just my opinion. I've done it because I was young. I didn't really thought about this at all. It was just me, my really good friend and my best friend, we decided let's just do tattoos together, and we thought about this for maybe a year or something. So it wasn't a decision that we just done it, because we obviously needed some money as well, so we needed to save for that. But overall, it wasn't something that I thought, how I'm going to feel about this in 5-10 years time. Wasn't something like this at all. I didn't do it, I didn't tell to my mom or to my parents. It was like, you needed to sign for the tattoo artist some kind of that your parents are agreeing to this, and I guess everybody does that you just signed it for your parents and they're not going to check it, obviously. So this is just, they are covered. But I guess if my mom was a little bit more open-minded at that time as well, I would talk to her. I would, if my children, and they would be 16, 17, I would love them to come to me and say, Mom, I'm thinking to get a tattoo, and I would be so much happier than rather them just go and do tattoo, because I would then say, if you think about tattoo, maybe let's just think about this for next 2 years. If you really still feel like in the next 2 years you really want to have that tattoo, then okay, we're going to do it, we're going to support you in that, until it's not on your face. But I didn't have this kind of conversation with my mom, and I really regret that, because I'm sure my mom, she would just say, no, you can't have a tattoo. But if she would be a little bit more open-minded at the time and say that, let's just sleep on it, let's just really focus like what you think you're going to do with this tattoo, and after, and all this type of conversation, then I would be happier, because I'm not necessarily, it's not that I'm not happy with my tattoo, it's not visible, it's in the place that you can't really see it, only if I'm on the beach wearing bikini. But if I have a chance in the future that there will be a technology that you can actually remove it and you're not going to see it at all, because now I can see the pictures, so the pictures online. Recently I was checking like if I'm going to this kind of laser, removing tattoo by laser, then still you can see something, and I'm not really happy with that. And I will just leave it as it is. Maybe one day they're going to improve the technology. When it comes to very small tattoos that they are not very visible, somewhere that maybe it's just for you, I'm more about that, because they may be meaningful but not necessarily something that everybody's going to see. Again, after said that, I have a really good friend. She has the tattoos on her body, on her arms. All her arms are tattoo, even her chest is tattoo. So you know, it's just something that I don't have a problem with that. But we had a once conversation with Hailey about this, and she said like, do you not feel like the tattoos are making your body more interesting and more beautiful? And I said, my personal like opinion, I don't think the tattoos making your body more beautiful, but I can completely agree that they making your body more interesting, because there is obviously something there, you know. For me, beauty is more in this kind of classic naked body, let's say, rather than if you compare naked body with full tattoo, you know. Like obviously they're going to be more interest, because you're going to see like, check what kind of tattoo is there. But for me, the more beautiful is actually body without tattoos, you know. But after said that, my partner has a tattoo, you know, and I can live with that as well. It's more visible because it's on his leg. If he would today say to me that he's going to do another tattoo, I would be a little bit more like, no, let's just talk about this. But I wouldn't like him to do more tattoos, you know. I wouldn't like him to have tattoo on the neck or something. There is also stereotype, especially in maybe in UK, maybe not so much, but when I was living in Poland, there was more like in Eastern Europe, that if you have a tattoo somewhere here, like on your face, on your neck, then it's like connected to like people are like gangsters or like prisoners or something like this. It's Poland, it's more harder to get a job if you have a tattoo somewhere like this. So when I was in bank, I remember there was this kind of thing that you can't have any visible tattoo on your body. My friend, she had on her, I think, wrist, and she was wearing like a plaster or some kind of makeup every single day, because you couldn't have that in a bank. When I was actually applying for a cabin crew in Warsaw for Emirates Airlines, I remember that there was another, like for cabin crew, that you can't have any tattoos. If you have a tattoo, you have a, again, situation that you have a plaster, you need to cover it. If it's somewhere like small, if it's very big, then you wouldn't even, they wouldn't take you to the next stage when it comes to being a cabin crew, you know. This is something that in some of the cultures as well, tattoos are not really desirable, if you know what I mean. But again, as I said before, once I saw there was a post about tattoo, Lala Way, the Lala Way. I made a video about her as well. I'm going to post a link if you didn't see that one. She was talking about tattoos, and she was saying that the only person that she feels looks classy and elegant in tattoo is Angelina Jolie. I have some pictures of her here just to show you, because I wasn't thinking like, for me personally, it's not very classic. She is elegant woman. Don't take me wrong, she's an elegant woman, but I don't feel like tattoo give her any class. I don't think this way, you know. I feel actually, as I said before, more classic. It's going to be body stripped of any tattoos. If I have a, like a saying, if my son would come to me one day and ask me to do tattoo, I would just say to him like, let's please just talk about this, think about this, let's give it a time, you know. That's the best advice I could give to anyone just now who is considering to have a tattoo. When you're 30, you don't really, there are some people that might think that, okay, still they are into the tattoo, you know. Apparently this is more like addictive. That's another thing what my friend Hailey told me, that the more tattoos you get, the more you want. So for anyone who is considering to do tattoo and you still feeling like about upgrading yourself, about being leveling up, because obviously everybody has different style. If you're completely not into the elegant, being more elevated, more elegant lady, then, you know, do whatever you like, you know. But I feel like tattoos not necessarily going to improve your look. That's how I would put it. And if you want to do something meaningful that means something so much, then do it somewhere that it's not super visible, and that's it, you know. You can do it in, so you have a body, you have so many different places, you can do it somewhere that is not visible. If there is this kind of need and you really feel like, yes, I thought about this 2-3 years and I'm still really wanting it, then yes, you can do it. You know, I remember as well, having tattoo was always something for me more natural, because my grandfather, that we were quite close, he had a tattoo of like over here, because he was a minor, so this was quite popular as well for minors to have like a Magdalena from, you know, Bible, because when you're under the ground, you know, because you know, when you're under the ground, there's so many accidents that a lot of minors have some kind of tattoo that it's very like a Christian type of meaningful. So it was always there, you know, I always saw it. I always saw tattoo in my family. He was the only really one. My mom, my father, they didn't really have any. My sister doesn't have any. I have one really from my family, and I think my cousin, he has now something as well. But overall, you know, it never was like forbidden in my family, but nothing really, so nothing that people would really go for it, if you know what I mean. I think there was a trend when I was younger as well. When I was 17, there was a trend that everybody was getting tattoo, and I guess this as well pushed me towards that. But as I'm saying, it's not something that is going to improve your life. It's something that you can have, obviously. I would really just recommend you to not do it when you are really young. Do it once you are adult, like more stable adult, like you already think about this as well. You're going to go to work as well, and many different places, they don't want you to have a tattoo very visible on your arms or on your hands or anything like this. So I would avoid those areas as well. But when it comes to classic, very classic look, then I would just say no to tattoos if you want to go this direction. But I know that tattoos can be tempting, that we have idea that it's so super beautiful. After a time, I think after 2 years after I had the tattoo, I forgot completely that I had a tattoo. It was not like so important when I actually live my life. So sometimes ask me if I have a tattoo, I would probably even say no, I don't. And then I would like, oh, guess, you know what, I actually do have a tattoo. So it was like, I honestly had situations like this, I completely forgot I had a tattoo because it wasn't so important, you know. And that's what I'm saying, like, I know that some people, they are very meaningful, so yes, you can do it, but just do it somewhere covered and be as well thoughtful about this. But for younger people, I would just advise wait for it, you know, because you can always do a tattoo, you can always, you know, tattoo your body, but once it's there, it's very hard to get rid of it. So that's another thing I would say. I wouldn't say is there some kind of very elegant tattoo style or flower or something. I wouldn't say no, there's not. Probably meaningful for people and quite popular, you can see some kind of text or some kind of, but many even celebrities, when I was looking at their tattoos, there's some kind of text that doesn't make any sense after a year. So that's just what happened as well, that people put some kind of line of text on their arm, and after 20 years they have a kids asking like, what does it mean for you anymore? And they are like, oh, you know, I was young and silly. So, well, it's, everybody's obviously different, but I'm just saying that I think if you're young, just think about this a little bit longer and don't do it just as an impulse, because once it's there, it's very hard to get rid of it. You can get rid of it, but as I'm saying, even me, I was checking different type of institution, how they like remove their laser, removing tattoo by laser, and it still leave you this kind of shadow over there. So I don't really see the point to removing it if it's not going to look really better. Well, that was my personal opinion. Sometimes, you know, if you don't agree with me, please leave a comment below, because I honestly like to read your comments, and just let me know what you think about this. I'm talking strictly about elegant style here, elegant tattoos. I don't think the tattoos are elegant, don't think they're classic, and that's just my personal opinion. I have an experience of that. I'm not just saying they're not elegant and they're bad and everything else, because I never really had one. I do have a tattoo and I wouldn't do it again. That's just me. As I'm saying, if my son would come to me once he's 16 and said that he wanted to tattoo, I would do everything in my best power to convince him to wait, you know. And if you couple years time or few years time he still feel like he want tattoo, then okay, yeah, nothing I can do. Yeah, this is his decision. But especially for a woman, I would say think about this a little bit longer if you are a young woman and you're really thinking about tattoo, because like I'm saying, when you're 30, you don't even like think about this anymore. Like, this is completely not interesting for you, and completely you're not paying attention to that, you know. And even you finding more beautiful actually bodies without tattoo. That's just how it grow when it comes to more elegant life, you know. That's what I'm trying to say here, because if someone is very like a rock and roll, rocky style, punk, whatever style you have, and there are lots of tattoos, then, and you still feel like their tattoos are really something that I'm so about, you know, because sometimes people like live their life with tattoos, the tattoos are everything for them, then, you know, well, then tattoos, you know, it's just your jam and that's it, yeah. But when it comes to elegant light and more like a sophisticated and calmer as well, I would say, then tattoos are not necessarily there, you know, they are not really a subject of any conversation and anything. Okay, ladies, I really would like to see your opinion about the subject, so please leave me a comment below, and see you in the next one.